Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a massive shift in how we use the internet. I mean, a change so big it could honestly be the end of the web browser as we've known it for the past 30 years.
So let me just start with a question. Think about the last time you tried to plan a vacation or, research a big purchase online. How many tabs did you have open? 10? 20? If you found yourself bouncing between sites, copying and pasting info into a spreadsheet, you were basically acting as human middleware. You were the glue. And that exact frustration is what the next generation of browsers is trying to eliminate for good.
To really get where we're going, we first have to understand where we've been. And honestly, for 3 decades, the web browser has been stuck in a kind of midlife crisis. Yeah, sure, it got faster, it got more secure, but did it ever get fundamentally smarter? Not really. I mean, just look at that huge gap on the timeline. After Chrome came out in 2008, innovation just kind of plateaued. We kept getting a faster horse, but never a car. Well, now we're stepping into what people are calling the agentic era. And this isn't just some small upgrade. It's a total reinvention of what a browser is even for. And here's the core of the problem, right? Your browser has always been a passive window. It just shows you stuff. You're the one who has to do all the work, all the thinking, all the connecting. It's always been a container for tools, not the tool that actually gets the job done for you. This is where the revolution really kicks off. Let's talk about Google Disco. It's a new, experimental browser that wants to turn that passive window into an active workshop. The entire goal is to shift us away from just browsing information to actually building solutions, right on the fly. And that brings us to this key concept, the agentic browser. So what does that mean? It means the browser doesn't just sit there and wait for you to click. Instead, you give it a goal and it becomes your personal agent, reading across your tabs, understanding what's going on, and actually taking action for you.
This quote from Google just nails it. They're trying to move away from the whole idea of aimless browsing. Disco is designed to be a vehicle that you pilot toward a specific destination, not just a window you stare out of. This right here is a fundamental change to the most basic part of the browser, the tab. A normal tab, it just holds a static web page. But in Disco, this new thing called a GenTab holds a dynamic, custom-built program, a mini app that's generated just for you in seconds. So how in the world does this work? It's a process some folks have started calling vibe coding. You just give it the vibe, your goal, and it writes the code. It figures out your intent, scans your other open tabs for context, decides on the best possible layout for the job, and then boom, it renders a mini app right in front of you. Let's make this real. Let's say you want to plan a trip to see the cherry blossoms in Japan. The old way is just chaos, right? A mess of tabs. The Disco way, you just type plan a trip to Japan focusing on cherry blossoms, and it generates a single dashboard that pulls everything together into one interactive planner. Suddenly, you're not the human middleware anymore. But Google is definitely not playing this game alone. This whole agentic shift has kicked off a brand new browser war. And this time, the battlefield is all about AI. A whole new wave of competitors is showing up, and they all have a slightly different idea of what the future should look like. And this table just lays it all out. Check out the competing philosophies here. Disco wants to build a whole new interface for you. OpenAI's browser, Atlas, wants to navigate the existing web for you. Meanwhile, Diamoth is zeroed in on work tasks, and Microsoft Edge is all about the enterprise. Everyone is betting on a different key action, from building to clicking to just summarizing. So, let's meet these contenders. You've got OpenAI's Atlas, which is basically an assistant that will literally click the buy button for you. Then there's Dia from Atlassian, which is built to automate your workday by connecting tools like Jira and Confluence. Opera Neon is aiming at power users who need deep research agents. And Microsoft Edge? They're playing the long game, focusing on security and AI integration for their huge corporate customer base. But look, this is more than just a cool new feature. This is a fundamental change with absolutely massive consequences. This technology has the potential to remix the entire economic foundation of the web as we know it. The biggest and most immediate threat is to the business model of the open web. For decades, it's been simple. Publishers make content, search engines send them traffic, they make money from ads. But these agentic browsers completely shatter that loop. They scrape the data and just show you the answer. 0 clicks for the publisher means, well, 0 revenue. And this leads to a whole new game. Forget search engine optimization, SEO. The future is all about agent engine optimization, or AEO.
Creators are going to have to shift from writing compelling stories for people to just creating clean, perfectly structured data that an AI can digest easily. Data purity is going to trump brand voice.
And that brings us to the giant privacy question. For Disco to be your amazing personal agent, it needs to read everything, every tab, every click, every piece of data. Google's on policy for its labs says it logs page contents for up to 18 months to train its AI. And that's the central trade-off, isn't it? You get this unbelievable utility in exchange for unprecedented surveillance. When you put all this together, a pretty radical future starts to come into focus. If your browser can build any app you need right when you need it, who needs an app store? Who even needs a traditional operating system? The browser becomes the computer. That's really the ultimate endgame here. And that leaves us with one final and I think pretty critical question. As these AI agents become our main way of interacting with the digital world, they gain an immense amount of power to shape what we see and do. So as the browser starts building our reality for us, you really have to ask, who's in control here?